Hi, my name is Nakaya and I am your teacher friend. So, what I'm here to do is help you with those dreaded interview questions because it's hiring season and boy, do we hate those. So, I'm going to give you 10 questions and I'm going to allow you to answer them. All you have to do is press pause in between the questions and take the time, answer them as best as you can. And when you unpause, I will give some feedback as to how I would answer those questions and some tips, especially for you first year teachers who have never had a classroom and have no idea what to say. I'm going to help you out also. So, are you ready? Remember, there's going to be 10 questions. I'm going to ask you the question. All you have to do is press pause, answer it, and when you unpause, I'll give you some feedback on and some tips on how to answer them. Ready? You got this. Let's do it. So, my name is Nakaya Bennett, and I am head and administrator at Ultra Megam Awesome Middle School. And I have you down here for a 10 o'clock interview for one of our sixth grade positions, correct? Good. So, I'm going to get started with the first question if you're ready. All right. So, my first question is tell me about yourself and what hobbies you have. So with a question like this, you want to be as authentic as you can be. Talk about where you're from, talk about your educational background, talk about your work background, talk about some passionate things that you do. You can even tie them to the subject area that you teach. So for me, I teach English, and so I might talk about some books that I've read, a certain area that I studied in college, things of that nature. So you might want to talk about shows that you watch that are tied to science, projects that you might be working on if you're related to history, things of that nature. So be as authentic as possible and also tie it back to who you are as a person and what subject area you teach. My second question to you is how will you interact with administration? So this question is a tricky one because it's vaguely worded and also like what do you even mean? So how I would answer this question personally and the tips that I have for you is to look at administrative responsibilities and see where teachers and administration collaborate. So it might be things like seeking help with a parent. It might be seeking help with a student with behavior issues at that point at that time. It might be help with lesson plans, following up on something with HR, things like that that are administrative responsibilities. But usually you want to go in the direct route of I'm willing to seek out feedback. I'm willing to collaborate with parents. I'm willing to collaborate on lesson plans. I'm willing to go over data, things like that that shows that you're going to show initiative in doing your job as a teacher. Hope that helps. My second question to you is describe how you will fit in with the staff. So a question like this also vague and weird because maybe you've never worked in an educational environment before, but one of the tips that I have in responding to a question like this is think about areas where you collaborate with your team members and with the staff. So when you're talking about our team members, you can talk about how you might collaborate with a student and see what good behavior interventions or what strategies you can do to help the behavior of a student or what best parental contact to make as a team. You can talk about different strategies that you can use to for the best to get the best out of a student in the classroom. You can talk about collaborating on projects with your team. Those are some things that you could talk about. As far as like the larger faculty, you could talk about being involved in sports games, basketball games, or school-wide activities and committees. Committees are really, really good. So those are some things that shows that you're willing to throw yourself in there and be a part of the larger educational community at your school. Again, hope that helps. Third question for you: how would you respond to an angry parent? So again, this question can be a bit hard if you've never been in contact with a parent in this form or fashion before. However, this question is to gauge how well you are with parental contact, which is inevitable as a teacher. So, you kind of want to follow a process that ensures that you aren't alone. Make sure you are talking to that parent alongside a social worker, a counselor, a person on your team, or an administrator, but never be an island when it comes to parental contact. You always need a paper trail. Secondly, you want to make sure that it's much like retail or customer service. If you've ever worked in that, you want to make sure you go to a solution oriented place. You want to start by acknowledging the growth that you have, that the student has, or acknowledge about some circumstantial thing that relates and is influenced by this thing, and then go to a place of growth where you want to talk about strategies to make sure this is going to get done. So if little Johnny's parent is mad at me for not updating grades when I said I would, I want to say thank you for reaching out to me. I'm trying my best at this time to get everything done, but I will be sure to make sure that I have all of my grades in at Sunday at 6 p.m. If I do not, I will be sure to follow up with the students and you on Monday morning. So make sure you're very specific about next steps. Make sure you acknowledge their feelings, acknowledge the growth of the student if it were applicable, and be more solution oriented. Again, hope that helps. My next question for you is: how would you respond to a student who is not completing their work? So a question like this also is, again, to see what your plan is when things go wrong, because as teachers they do go wrong. So it taps a little bit into your classroom management plan. It taps a little bit into your instructional plan as a teacher. So some tips I have for doing this is to talk about steps that you can control first. So education works in an inside out type of way. You want to look inward first, and then connect with the student second, then connect with the parent third, and then connect with the administration last. So in that sense, you want to make sure your instruction is on point. So I want to make sure that my planning has covered his interest, or that I have an alternate way of engaging with him. Maybe he wants to use technology. I can use video. Also, checking in with them on the social emotional part, making sure everything is okay at home. He's getting sleep. He needs food. He needs water. He needs to go to the restroom, whatever the case may be. Also, you want to make sure that the parent knows that they're having a hard day, just in case it shows up in their grades. Like maybe it's test day, so they need to be sure that's what's going on. So things like that. make sure that the administration know that you are proactive and you're checking yourself before you work your way outwards. Again, hope that helps. My next question, I'm going to end this video right here. Hopefully these questions help you a little bit to gauge the process of interviewing. Also gets you in the mindset of how the administrators are going to interview you and what they're looking for behind scenario-based questions and things of the like. I'll be making a part 2 to this video with other interview questions and also more feedback on how to answer those questions. So be sure to tune in, and happy teaching. Please like and subscribe for more content.